Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gururdevo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedyadravitam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Bhadram Karnevi Shrinyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyam Makshabhirya Jatraha Sthiraya Rangai Stushtuභagum Sastanuvihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vridhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti no Taksho Arishtanemi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You can correct my pronunciation this morning. I was listening to those coming in. How are you folks? Great. So we're probably going to finish up this morning. We're on the 6th question, Prashna. And the Pipalada Arishi started off with responding to a parable about how the young man was asked where this ultimate reality comes from, and the Purusha in the body with its 16 parts, etc. And he's responding to that all of this comes from Brahman, from the Self. And we've had these brief indications to the 2 dimensions that we need to understand. I'm fond of the paradigm that's set forth in Yoga Vasishta. Yoga Vasishta were invited to explore 3 questions. Who am I? What is this world? And how has it come about? Who am I? All of this implies our Drik Drishya Viveka, our discrimination between the seer and the seen. I am not the body, I am not the pranas, which we've gone into in such detail. I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. Listen carefully. I am not the karta, the agent, the ahankriti that's lodged in the subtle intellect, which has as a function to coordinate all perceptions, thoughts, and feelings, and gives the feeling that it's happening to an individual, this jiva bhavana, what's frequently called chid abhasa, the reflection of consciousness in the subtle intellect. Chid chaya, this shadow of consciousness. And then the Anandamaya Kosh, the bliss sheath, when the mind is folded up into the darkness of deep sleep. And I is the witness of all. And the witness of the phenomenal world. Now, what is this phenomenal world? This phenomenal world comes about like a dream. Sarvam idam swapnaiti. How would you say it? Swapnati. All of this is, as it were, like a dream. So if we thoroughly understand the dream state, that's a microcosm of the macrocosm. You are the God of your dream. In the dream state, you have your own individual version of Maya, spiritual ignorance. We call it deep sleep, which has as its elemental essence the non-apprehension of myself as the waker. Then my mind projects what we call the triputi, the triple factor: knower, knowing, and known. I become the dreamer ego, identified with a dream body. From that dream body, I peep out at a dream world. People, places, things, and conditions. Inside, I have a dream subtle world of reactions, thoughts, feelings, impressions. All of that is just my mind refracting, shattering, splintering into that. Just like when sunlight hits a prism, it refracts, it shatters into the spectrum. The spectrum is nothing but the one sunlight split apart. So knower, knowing, and known in the dream state. I'm very clear. It's nothing but my mind. And how do I know that? Because when I wake up, poof, it's gone. It is negated. So what the Upanishads thunder, all of this comes about in the same way. The only difference is who's doing the dreaming. Prajapati, the creator, we talked about it in the very first question, is doing the dreaming. Rahim, prana, chat, energy and matter, and then all the way that filters down. How has it come about? The third question, sankalpena, by means of sankalpa. Very difficult word to translate. Wish, will, desire, thought, intention. Sankalpa is the process whereby an imagination seems to take form as an object in the phenomenal world. Thoughts are things and they have wings, the old maxim says. That's all that this is. What are the ramifications of it? Take it easy. Because the substratum, the ground of being, the support of it all is never touched. It is kutastha, the term we get in our Panchadashi on Monday nights. Still and immovable. So what do you and I have to do? We have to remember to stop, introvert the attentive faculty, notice the knower. Oh yeah, I'm still just Chidakash, the space of pure awareness. The subtlest of discriminations between the real self and that thought self, ahankara, ahankriti, caught in the intellect. So we have Nirguna Brahman, which is always experienced as I, and Sa Guna Brahman, this phenomenal world of name and form. Seen body. Any thoughts before we go on? All right, what's our next mantra?
Number 7.
Number 7. Winnie, will you help us out, please?
Sure. Tan hovacha etava devaham etat param brahmaveda nataha paramastiti. Then Pippalada said to them, "This much alone do I know, the highest Brahman. There is nothing higher than this."
So, in the beginning, we think seeing is believing. The table's real, chair's real, the lamp is real, God's a mystery. The self I do not know. I'm going to go to the teacher, I'm going to find out this highest truth. And in the end, it's exactly the opposite. Yourself, the self, is the only thing you will ever know for sure. It's the only thing that's real. It is this world that's the mystery. Why? Because this world is nothing but mind. Mind is always mutable and changing. I love the movie, I think it was called Inception, where they had dreams within dreams within dreams. Have you seen that movie? Mm-hmm. It's very Vedantic. Because they would keep popping into a reality, a supposed reality, that sure appeared real, but it wasn't. It was a dream. They come into another reality. It was a dream. Now, where it wasn't pure Vedanta, it posited that there was a waking state someplace that they were going to get back to. Vedanta says, no, if you can see it, it isn't real. The phenomenal world is quite unreal, and the proof of its unreality is that it is known. It is objectively seen. If it is objectively seen, if it's an object of cognition, it is nothing but the play of the mind. Whose mind? Don't worry about that. Don't take it seriously. Something there is that is real. That's not an imagination. That's the self. That's myself. The entire phenomenal world is not only the play of the mind, but is known through the mind. We have such a clear example of all this with our modern politics. What's true? What's real? Well, I believe this. Well, I believe that. Well, this is true here. Well, that's true there. You can't find an objective reality. Now, there are schools of thought, some of the Buddhists, who say you can completely empty the mind and you can see the phenomenal world as it is. A rose is just a rose, is just a rose. Vedanta says you cannot know it's a rose without some sanskara, without some impression. Just like an infant. It's all this light and color and sensation. Mind forms the world. Now there's layers and layers and layers and layers of superimposition. And that's an interesting point to study if you wish. But what this Upanishad is thundering, what Pipalada is saying, this I know. It's the only thing I know for certain. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma. And it's the only thing that's real. You do not know yourself through the mind. How do you know you are you? You do not see, hear, taste, touch, smell, emote, or think yourself. Yet you know you are. This is what gives us freedom. There's so many little maxims that point to it. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. I'm fond of what Swami Tejomayananda used to say. The foolish person doesn't take life seriously. The intelligent person takes life seriously. The wise person seriously doesn't take life seriously. Sarvamidam swapneti. All of this is like a dream. Any thoughts on this? What is liberation? Actually, you are already liberated. It's like this. You see my glasses? I've looked all over the house for my glasses. It's not in the bedroom. It's not on my desk. I didn't set them down on the table. I looked in the pockets of all my clothes, my jackets, everything. I can't seem to find my glasses. You guys see my glasses? What am I going to do? Oh, there they are. I had them all along. They were just on top of my head. They were there. I just, in my mind, did not know it. So also, we get nothing new. But what is the cause of my suffering? The root cause of my suffering is spiritual ignorance, avidya, in the subtle intellect, the non-apprehension of my essential nature. Just like even though I had my glasses, I had the non-apprehension of where they were. I thought I had lost them. So also in the subtle intellect, in the mind, I think I don't know God. I don't know the self. And the superimposition. I think I'm the body. Then desire gets set up as part of the whole projection. I am bereft of happiness. It's out there. And then I start the stupidity of struggle. And as Hamlet says, I grunt and sweat under a weary life. More, better, different, more, better, different, more, better, different. And then I can ennoble that in my own mind. Responsibilities. This is what my job demands. Not realizing it's always safe. You can't be hurt. You can't be cast into an abyss. And you can't be improved. Some of you young people have become quite successful in the world. And yet, do you still struggle? You open to gain. Well, when I'm financially independent, knock yourself out. As long as I have the phenomenon of craving, of jonesing, of longing, peace. So knowledge of the self gives us what I call existential freedom. I'm safe always, even dying is completely safe. And finally, scriptures say, my self nature is bliss absolute, chidananda rupaham. I know where happiness is. I know where peace is. I know where satisfaction is. It's the mind letting go of its attachment to the world. and learning to come home. You don't need to figure the world out, even though we spent 3 questions. The first 3 questions, figure it out. What is there to know? Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Brahman alone is real. You are real. Jagat, this phenomenal world, everything knowable, seeable, cognizable. Mithya, literally a lie. By Tatya, false. Comes about like a dream. All right, next mantra.
Te tamarchanta sattvam hi na pita yosmakam vidhyayaha param param tara yasiti namaha param rishibhyo namaha param rishibhyaha. They, worshipping him, Pipalada, said, Thou art our father who has ferried us to the shores beyond.
Who has what?
Ferried us to the
ferried us. Okay.
to the shores beyond, across the ocean of our thick ignorance. Salutations to the highest rishis. Salutations to the highest rishis.
So, what is the guru? The literal definition of guru means heavy. But in the tradition, there's another etymology. Gu means something that's hidden or obscure or secret. We get words like guha or gufa, cave, guhayam, secret. So a guru is the one who reveals that which is hidden or obscure. Guru shows up in 3 ways. First is the external guru, the teacher. Listen carefully. The external guru is a temporary psychological device. It is meant to be temporary. A good guru puts himself out of a job. That's his job. He is the ferryman of the ferry boat that takes us across the ocean of samsara. So let's say there's a sea and you're going to get on a boat to cross the sea. Get on, cast off, or across the ocean of samsara of change. And when you get to the other shore, the shore of moksha, liberation, do you drag the boat with you? Goodbye. The ferryman turns around, goes back to the other shore. Pick up some other passengers, ferry them. But what do you do? Go on. So many people get stuck in their love and devotion to the teacher. Be ruthless. Use. You get your answers. Thank you. You go onto YouTube and you'll see many satsangs where all these people are worshiping the teacher. The guru in Hindu culture can stand in for the murti, the idol. There are people who are worshiping Shirdi Sai Baba, for example. He's gone. Are they worshiping their idea of Shirdi Sai Baba? It's no different than if you see the statue of Lord Shiva and you worship your idea of Lord Shiva. There's value in that in the beginning. But I tell you, the Satguru, the real teacher, in the satsang, the company of truth, doesn't leave you with you thinking wonderful things about him or her. You are lost in the vision of your own self. It will disappear. Second place, Guru shows up, is in my life. It is a spiritual axiom that if I'm disturbed, no matter the cause, I'm the one with the klesha, the affliction, which is an attachment, an expectation, an identification. Vasana. So, karmically, that energy goes out from me at the level of the ego and draws to me the exact circumstances to poke at my ego, my attachments, my expectations, my identifications. I can prove it to you. Who here got triggered this week? You did? Tell me this is the first time you felt this.
Mm-hmm.
And was it a person who caused it?
Yeah.
Tell me this is the first person that's caused this feeling.
No.
Guess who's got the problem? I promise you, that person got hit by a bus and you haven't resolved the issue. It'll show up again. I used to joke with people, I've been married for 10 years, only the names and faces change. Same damn relationship. Does this make sense? Or on the in the work situation, who here feels like they have a crummy boss who's controlling and da 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 da? Tell me this is the first boss you've had who behaves this way. Bosses, all of them are this way. No, I am that way. I am putting out energy which draws that to me. That is my guru. as it shows up in the world. The foolish person, when the world triggers me, fight, flight, freeze. That's what I do. I want to battle with that issue. I want to run away from that issue, or I just get stuck and paralyzed. Just like a deer in the forest. It hasn't changed any. But the yogi understands that it's never out there. I'm the one with the attachment, the expectation, the identification. I'm the one that needs to go. Now, Swamiji used to poke at us. If we had an attachment, he just poke, poke, poke. See people react all the time. And he'd keep poking until we dropped it. Till we became just empty. Let all that stuff pass through. Then he'd stop. But life does a damn good job of it. So when the teacher is not around to poke, life will do it. It is a spiritual axiom that if I am disturbed, no matter the cause, I'm the one with the affliction. Well, does that mean they're right and I'm wrong? I didn't say that. The world and its people are oftentimes quite wrong. But if I'm disturbed about it, I have the problem. Does everybody understand that? Guru shows up in the third way. It's my own deep intuition. Prophet Isaiah in the Hebrew scripture calls the still small voice my sense of rightness. And in the end, when I find out who I am, I find out who the teacher is, who the guru is. So in the beginning, when I met Swamiji, he was this brilliant man out there. All the Shakti, my God, it's like being on LSD. And then as I began to hear the teaching, oh, he's so brilliant. And it was almost like I was remembering it, not learning anything new. It was like something that was already deep in me. Then he began to teach us how to tune up to me. So empty. Then he would say, use the guru. You don't have to be near me, just think of me. Be around the world. Tune up to me. So we began to do that. And he would say, you have to be established in it yourself. The guru is Shakti, is a borrowed glory. Our own meditation seed Here in California, learn to tune up the mind, let it be absorbed in the sound. Then we realized it was all a trick. It's my own self-nature. So those moments when here in class, our minds get so deeply into getting that taste, the infinite, it's ourself. Atmanam. It's like meet Swamiji. He's gone nowhere. Because so. So in this mantra, there's the great reverence for the Guru, who has ferried us across the ocean of samsara. And it's not that he or she was a unique person. Our salutations to all of the teachers. Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. My reverence to all of the Guru, all the Rishis. Our longing for freedom has brought them here. This is the great, great tradition of Guru Shishya Parampara. I learned of this truth from my teacher. He learned it from his teacher. It goes back unbrokenly, time in. So even though the Guru is no longer necessary, our love is always there. Certainly our gratitude. Talk with friends on the phone, especially my friend Vilasini. We both reflect, oh, we were so lucky to have been able to meet him, study with him. Is that the last mantra or is there more?
There's an ending, a couple of ending verses.
Okay.
Iti shashta prashnaha, iti prashno upanishad samaptam. Here ends the sixth prashna, here ends the Prashna Upanishad.
That's the end. Now, as we always do, if you please chant the very first mantra again.
Tanha sa rishivacha bhuya eva tapasa brahmacharyena shraddhaya samvatsaram samvatsyatha yatha kamam prashnan pricchata yadi vigyasa yamaha sarvam hava vakshyama iti. Oh, I think I read the wrong one. I read the second one by mistake. First one. Om Sukesha cha Bharadwaja Shabdaischa Satyakama Sauryarayani cha Garya Kausalyascha Chalayano Bhargavo Vaidarbhihi Kabandhi Katyayannaste Haite Brahmapara Brahmanishtaha Param Brahman Veshamanaha Eshaha Vaitat Sarvam Vakshyat Iti Teha Samit Parnayo Bhagavantam Pipaladam Upasanaha. Sukesha, son of Bharadwaja, Satyakama, son of Siddhi, Garya, the grandson of Surya, born in the Ganga Gotra, Kaushalya, son of Ashwala, Bhargava of the Vidarbha city belonging to the Bhrigu Gotra, and Kabandhi, son of Katya, all of them devoted to the inferior Brahman and centered in the inferior Brahman, and seeking the highest Brahman, approached the revered Pipalada with fuel in hand, thinking that the Rishi would explain everything to them.
Yes. So why do we chant the first mantra again? Because now is time for our swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means self-study. So we never just read a scripture once. Okay, I've done that one. Give me the next one. These are masterpieces. This is one of the oldest. It's been around at least 2,500 years. Could be as old as 3,000 years old. And the idea is maybe even older than that. Why has it stuck around? Because it's a masterpiece. What is the definition of a masterpiece? As we grow, change, evolve, deepen in our understanding, we return to this great work of literature and more deeper, more profound things about it. So until you have become an Upanishad yourself, which is the goal, we review, we revise, Shravana, we hear it, Mananam, think about it. Look at these ideas, see if they're true for you. And then Nididhyasana, long and continuous meditation. The ideas performed. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.